to the Midwest region where Houston is the #1 overall seed. And, man, they got a fun game in the second round. You get the winner of Iowa and Auburn. I'm going Iowa all day. I just don't think Bruce Pearl's team is very good.
How good is Iowa?
Well, they can
Some
be
nights
really
very good.
Yeah.
Some nights,
depends what you get. They obviously are not great defensively, and that's where Bruce is going to probably try to turn into a grinder if he can, and have his team. What does he do best? Right, toughness.
Yeah,
So,
they just kind of make the game a mess.
Right. And if they
just
do
make the
that,
game
they might be able to.
If they turn it into a street fight, into an AAU game.
And Bruce in Iowa, interesting little.
Yeah, of course, used to be an assistant there, right? Yes. I too like Iowa, and I do think that they can pass the ball, they can shoot the ball. I don't know if they can defend.
No, you do know
that they can't defend.
Yes, you
but
know.
They've had some games, and some of it is when they shoot the ball well, right? Like Indiana ran away and hit, right? Hit 13 threes. So I'm fascinated to see not just that game, but then the potential matchup with Houston. Again, their ability to shoot.
Didn't you call the upset? Hawkeyes?
That's on a different segment. A different segment.
Oh, you're hedging already.
Oh, no. Of course I'm hedging already.
All right.
Can Kent State beat Indiana?
Can, sure.
Yeah.
By the way.
And Rob Senderhoff?
Yes, the former Indiana assistant.
Listen, if you want to do a little research, we don't have time in the show. Google Rob Senderhoff, Indiana. Because potentially Rob Senderhoff would play Indiana and then could match up with Kelvin Sampson, who is his boss.
I didn't even look that far.
Yeah, send him down the river.
That would be ridiculous. All right, but to me, the best matchup in the top half of this bracket is awesome. Miami-Drake. I have no idea who wins this game. I'll be honest. But I can't wait to see it because I love both teams. I think both teams have a chance to go deep to the Sweet 16. Because, to me, Miami did it last year. And they've got a bucket getter in Isaiah Wong and Jordan Miller. And they added Nigel Pack. They've got good, experienced guards. And what does Drake have? Good, experienced guards that were in the tournament a couple of years ago. And they added Tucker DeVries, the coach's kid, who's the most talented player, the Missouri Valley Player of the Year, a potential pro.
Yeah, well, that's the difference with Drake and other Valley teams in the past, right? Right, like they're very well coached. They have a high recidivist rate in terms of having kids back, and then you throw in a pro. Remember the last
a big word for you, by the way.
Recidivist?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually used in a different context, but I like using it anyway. But remember, the last time we had a Valley team make a run, I don't remember, was Creighton in the Valley then or within the Big East? Doesn't matter.
They started in the Valley,
right.
I think.
Okay, so it was there was the Doug McDermott effect, right? Doug McBuckets. Yeah. I like Drake there, but let's not undersell this Kent State team with Sincere Carey, and it's an Indiana team that if you keep them out of transition, they struggle to score. They just do.
And they're going to be tough with Trace. That's the one thing they are. They're physical.
Yes. So what Sincere Carey can carry you for Kent State. They've played high major opponents. And here's another thing, and this is something that is inside the world of sports, especially college basketball. You can't pay attention to many teams outside your league when you're at Kent State. But make no mistake about it, Rob Senderhoff has watched every Indiana game this year. You just do. That's just what you do. And if you watch him, you know they're a Xavier Johnson who's not going to play. Xavier Johnson away from being a team that can win a national championship. Jalen Hood-Schifino is really, really good. He's not a natural point guard. He loves the mid-range. It's an Indiana team that's missing something. I think that's going to be a really competitive game.
All right, bottom half of the Midwest. A little, to me, kind of a little more wide open. You've got Xavier here that could face Iowa State. Hey, listen, I'm still not buying Iowa State. I know they've kind of been better since they dismissed Caleb Grill. I love Xavier's guards. I got to say, Kobe Jones and Sule Boom, I'm taking Xavier to come out of that top half. And the bottom half, wide open in my opinion. Colgate against Texas. Remember, Texas lost to Abilene Christian a couple years ago with Shaka in the first round. Do not be shocked. Do not be shocked if they go down again.
It's two coaches removed.
Just telling you, they could do it here. Colgate is really good.
They're very good, and they're very disciplined.
And they can shoot the hell out of it.
Yes, and this is a Texas team. This is a Texas team that they don't have any one great shooter. It's kind of an ensemble cast.
Yep. If Marcus Carr's not making them, Doug, and Colgate is, I'm just saying it could be one of those upset type games.
I'm telling you the team to watch out for, and maybe it's a recency bias of seeing them. Penn State's a dangerous team here.
Because they shoot it.
Well, they shoot the hell out of it from three. Yeah. They play small ball. Yeah. And they're older than hell. And they have,
They're like the most experienced team in the country.
I mean, like you just take Jalen Pickett, who of course is in his 5th year. He was the MAC Player of the Year. He's also the MAC Rookie of the Year back in his freshman year. I mean, this guy has just scored buckets wherever, and he's a 6'3" kind of hybrid guard that does a lot inside the paint, and they space out around him and can really, really shoot. Andrew Funk from Bucknell, great three-point shooter.
Green light.
But again, he's a COVID 5th-year kid. So they start.
They're all COVID
They start
5th-year
3 for COVID 5th-year kids. They bring another one off the bench, and then they got a 7th-year big guy, right? I mean, in Matt Henne. It's a really and Micah Shrewsbury. Mike Henne. I'm sorry. Mike
he's
Henne.
only been around for 7 years.
I understand, and I know the schools. I'm having my podcast. I'm excited.
He couldn't name the schools.
He's the Tommy Boy of college basketball, right? Yes. But Micah can really coach. Yeah. And I think that Penn State's the sneaky team we're not talking about.
That bottom half is tough. A&M, they've been playing really well. Penn State been playing really well. Texas been playing really well. Colgate, obviously a team that ran through its league, and honestly, they've got shooters and they've got size. Talking to Matt Langle, he told me that's the biggest difference from the Colgate teams of the last couple of years that haven't advanced from this team, because they've not only got shooters, but they're not as reliant on shooting the three. They can put it on the floor some, and they've got a couple bigs up front that may cause problems with Texas, which really doesn't have a ton of size.
I like Texas to beat Colgate. I think Texas is going to struggle with Penn State. I got Penn State going to the Sweet 16 and matching up with Xavier. And Xavier, of course, not playing at full strength the rest of the years as well. But
who do you got coming out of the whole region?
Houston.
Yeah, I got Houston too. I mean, I just think, again, the fewest amount of deficiencies, and they have a guy named Kelvin Sampson coaching them that you and I both trust. Really good coach, really good guards, lottery pick, bigs that understand their role.